And we are coming to you from RightsCon 2025, the world's leading summit on human rights in the digital age. We're in the foyer of the Taipei International Convention Center with Aymen Zaghdoudi, who is Access Now's Middle East and North African Senior Policy Counsel. He's also an assistant professor at the Institute of Press and Information Sciences in Tunisia, where he teaches press law, media regulation, and constitutional law. Welcome, Aymen. That's quite a bio you've got there.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So you're based in Tunisia.
I'm based in Tunisia.
Yeah, and that is, of course, the birthplace of the Arab Spring.
Right.
What is the situation on the ground there now?
Yeah, it's really difficult right now. It's been like a huge shift. So it was from day to another, from like free, pluralistic, diversity society to almost repression on a large scale. No more freedom of expression. The government shut down many media outlets. Many journalists are in jail. Public media broadcasters are now doing propaganda for the regime, falsifying elections, jailing also political opponent. International, when it comes also to international relation with like the EU, it's in tension now because of many files, so like migration, economic cooperation or mutual cooperation with the EU. Also, new legislation have been adopted by the parliament, like cybercrime legislation. We will come to it in a bit, which is like one of the biggest or the most dangerous tools used by the government to stifle the civic space, whether online or offline. Yeah.
Yeah, so it must be hard being a digital activist on the ground there.
That's true. Yeah. Also, in terms of tactics, we are now changing tactics, how we can deal with the problem in Tunisia, but like more in safer manner. For example, when someone is arrested, we just publish statement. We try to reach out to like the bar association, media outlet. This is not possible anymore because you publish a statement, you can expect that in 24 hours you will have sort of like knocking. Exactly.
So I just want to check as we continue to do this podcast that you're comfortable to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
Happy to have this public conversation.
Absolutely.
So, well, firstly, I mean, you know, having been somebody who's, you know, was there since 2009 and seen like the hope and the excitement in 2011 and the kind of chaos of 2012 and 13, and then the sort of possibility and step back, step forward, 2 steps forward, new constitution, like all of this stuff. And now to see it come to this point, I mean, I want to talk about the politics of it, but I just want to ask a personal question first as well. Like, maybe not necessarily about you, but how is the community of human rights defenders and activists and just ordinary citizens really who are watching their rights being chipped away? Like, how are you coping, and what is the mood?
It's like a large scale depression.
Yeah.
So even like you go out to meet people, you go out, you don't see people like laughing, smiling, satisfied. You feel like people always are under tension, pressured.
Scared?
Oh, yeah, some are scared, of course, especially those who are dealing with like public interest topics. They are scared, of course. Even at the university, for example, we used to organize like 2-3 like conferences every year. People were like speaking freely. Right now, it's not possible. Even when we organize conference, you feel like professors are a bit like
self-censoring.
Yes. Even me, I remember last November, I was invited to talk about freedom of press in Tunisia at one of the Tunisian university. And then someone was calling me like one night before. He said, "Aymen, look, so tomorrow, no like Facebook Live, nothing, no online media, like only students and professors, no one outside of the university will be invited, and please try to be like to control what you are going to say. Of course, I didn't follow his advice. I feel like also when it comes to academic freedom, it's not the same like before. I remember also during the first semester, I was shocked when one of my colleague came to me and said, "Look, Ayman, there is like sort of recording circulating on Facebook. When I was during my class, I was criticizing, for example, the cybercrime decree. I was shocked that one of my students was recording me and sharing the recording online. Online.
And that's very dangerous for you.
Right now, luckily, nothing has happened to me, but I was a bit scared. Yeah, I was a bit scared.
Well, let's talk about that cybercrime law. It's so interesting that your experience, I mean, Tunisia's experience of a cybercrime law is like not unique, not interesting. It's very concerning that it's not unique. It's almost like, you know, state authorities in the name of security are have decided that the like cyberspace and cybercrime is the place to kind of exert additional authority. Tell us about what this law looks like. Has it passed?
Yeah.
And what is it? How does it? Will it be rolled out?
Yeah, it was adopted in March 2022.
Okay.
And as you just mentioned, it's something common in the region. Like the whole MENA region, like has a cybercrime, except Yemen and Iraq. But the rest of the states have their own cybercrimes. Also, there is another common trend: it's to include content-based offenses in the cybercrimes, like online defamation, online hate speech, online
It's not
disinformation.
really cyber, is it?
Exactly, and that's the problem. It's not cyber.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's not cyber. And even at Access Now, have been like fighting, even at the UN level, with the UN Cybercrime Convention to say, look, try to avoid including content-based offenses because it's not cybercrime. Cybercrime it needs like to be focused on ICT, on the
Code,
exactly, instead of focusing on the content. We were not successful at the UN level, and this also is another problem in the future. If, for example, states like Tunisia or Russia or China will sign, and they will, this convention, then we are expecting to see a sort of transnational repression when it comes to cybercrimes.
And how does the current world disorder embolden the government in Tunisia around these kind of cyber crimes?
Yeah. So first of all, since this cybercrime has been passed, we've seen many journalists, students, lawyers, judges, law professors, civil society activists prosecuted and jailed
under the law,
under this law. And of course, there is a sort also of political pressure from the President of the Republic. So even when the court is not convinced to apply the cybercrime, they can't, because also we have seen, for example, in 2023, 57 judges have been dismissed by the President of the Republic because they didn't issue like a good judgment. And
this is the problem, isn't
it?
We
keep hearing, like, it's funny.
The law courts.
Funny.
The law is our safety net, but now it's being dismantled on so many fronts.
Yeah. And also what's going on now in the US, for example, with, for example, the funding freezing. Even in Tunisia now, they are using this argument against civil society organization by saying, look, the US was giving money to the Tunisian for intelligence. They are foreign agent. And now they are using it. And maybe within the next few weeks or few months, we will see a new association law will be adopted by the parliament. So they will ban foreign NGOs, foreign funding, and almost to kill the civic space. Yeah.
So let's just there's so many things to talk to you about, and I want to just because we're at RightsCon, and it is very much at that intersection of technology and rights. Like, when you think about that law, give us a provision. Like, what does the provision say? One where you think is the most offensive to due process or to, achieving an aim of silencing as opposed to safety?
There is the famous Article 24. Even some scholars are calling the cybercrime. So it's the cybercrime decree number 54.
Yeah.
But some scholars call it cybercrime Article 24 because it's the only article which has been applied is only Article 24, which is related to online content, like online disinformation.
What does it say, though?
It says when you publish disinformation, of course, with the vague terms, very vague terms, very broad. So judges, they can easily interpret it in this way and the other way. And the problem that the sanction, it's 5 to 10 years of prison. So five years when it comes to defamation against normal citizen, and then 10 years
against the state,
the president,
against the president,
ministers, like public officials.
So it basically says any person found disseminating or writing, disseminating, publishing disinformation about the president or the government is subject to 10 years imprisonment.
And as determined by the president
new judges.
and the government.
Exactly. And it goes even beyond that. It's not only about publishing online content. Even if you share privately content. For example, I share content with Brett, for example, without publishing. This is also 10 years.
Private communication.
Yes.
Wow.
And this is also funny, even if you generate content, for example, through AI tools, for example.
I was going to say, what happens?
And you don't send it. You just leave it on your laptop, for example.
It generated.
Yes, AI generated content. And if they discover that this content is, for example, defamatory or disinformation, then also this content can be subject of criminal proceeding. Basically,
it's pretty heavy, and it's very hard for us in Australia with so many freedoms to understand just how that must feel for you to live in that society and under those circumstances.
Of course, and then you are not even safe when it comes to private circles. So one recent case like 3 or 4 months ago, one student was arrested because they confiscated their phone, the device, and they found that this student visited, like in the past, what they call the terrorist website.
Oh, okay.
So because this means, and we have been witnessing in the last 1.5 years that the police in the street, they can confiscate your device without any judicial order, just to look for something, and then they prosecute you based on that.
So what kind of safeguards do you employ to ensure that your device is as safe as it possibly can be under those circumstances?
So, for example, now I want to speak about for Access Now.
Yeah.
So I've been providing the last 1.5 years a lot of trainings for Tunisian activists, lawyers who are also involved in activism, judges, journalists, to explain to them the basic principle of like digital hygiene, digital security. So that's the first step. And now we are going to expand these workshops in other regions in Tunisia, just to target like the main activists, at least to offer them a minimum of protection when it comes to digital safety.
So do you think that Tunisians, one of the interesting things about Tunisians are that they're really digitally savvy. There's and I think it kind of comes from the Ben Ali regime, because they had this sort of perverse, way in which to kind of enable the universities and the schools, and so there's a really savvy digital population. Like, how is the Tunisian population, and maybe also the government, what is the impact of AI? Like, are you seeing it in the ministries? Are you seeing it with the students? Like, is it transforming Tunisia in the way that it is many other places?
Okay,
or sort of yet to come.
When it comes to like public authority, I think it's yet to come. We're still a bit behind. But for example, at the university, I teach at Press University, the Institute of Journalism in Tunis, and our student, also my colleagues, are using like AI tools. Also, we developed a sort of guideline how you can use AI, and at the same time you respect the ethical rules of journalism. And this was like one of our main success for 2024. It was also disseminated with the Tunisian media. We had like 2 conferences to explain how you can use AI. So when it comes to student or the university, we are a bit we start using, it's moving.
It's on.
But with the government, I think we are still behind. And I don't think if you enact like a cybercrime decree with this repressive and draconian provisions, it doesn't go at the same time with the idea to modernize the country and to adopt like AI legislations. You know,
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't.
it's the opposite of that. It's kind of
Exactly.
it's like, it's the kind of regulation that you don't want.
Absolutely.
It's not the protection of freedom, it's not the regulation of freedom, it's
Absolutely.
actually the regulations of control. So what about I mean, I'd like to know about the region as well a little bit. If we've got another minute, Mel, can we talk for us?
We can. Let's do it.
And I also want to just quickly finish up. We know that you're a basketballer as well,
Yeah.
so we want to hear a little word or two about that. But just tell us, like, where is your neighbours at? Morocco, Libya, etc. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, right now the whole region is under tension, under fire.
tension, yeah.
Libya, we are talking about two governments.
Yeah.
I just submitted the recent Universal Periodic Review for
yeah.
Libya.
Yeah.
A lot of human rights violations. Also, they enacted their cybercrime law in 2022. Not different from
Cut and paste.
Yeah. Algeria is trying to control Tunisia. So, for example, in Tunisia, some politician we call Tunisia like as one of the Algerian governorate, because we feel like we're under the control of the Algerian, and this also is impeding and has been impeding the democratic transition in Tunisia because of the impact of Algeria. Also the tension between Algeria and Morocco, it's like sort of cold war between the two states, and this also impeding or hindering any opportunity for creating a sort of unified Maghreb. And this was the aim since the 60s to form a sort of union between Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, Morocco, and Mauritania.
Amazing.
But because of the political disparity and tensions, we didn't manage to.
Because the people of the region are like so wonderful. Like, I don't want to just say that and I haven't said that to any of our guests yet, but like this whole, the North African, the people, the generosity, the culture, the food, the religion, it's a beautiful history.
Yes, the weather.
Okay, the basketball. Tell us about the basketball.
Okay, I just wanna say that my favorite player, who is Anthony Edwards, plays with Minnesota. He just won yesterday against one of the best club in it's Oklahoma City. And also tonight I'm gonna play basketball at 7 here in Taiwan.
You are?
With some RightsCon participant from Lebanon, from Germany.
Amazing.
It's gonna be fun.
We might come and do some vox pops.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Come and see it. Slam dunk. Thanks,
Thank you
Aymen.
so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Really appreciate it.